There are 3 lawsuits against IBM and their subsidiary Red Hat, specifically regarding IBM's crazy racist, DEI focused, discriminatory hiring and firing policies. They had racist quotas where a certain percentage of people had to be a certain color and all sorts of stuff. It was nuts. We covered a lot of that here in the Lunduke Journal. We're one of the few outlets that covered this story, which is crazy. I don't know why every tech news outlet isn't shouting about this story, because it's going to have a massive impact, but I digress. Of those 3 lawsuits, one of them is moving to a jury trial. This is big news. The IBM said, hey, toss this case out. We shouldn't have to deal with this. We're fine. This shouldn't even be a case. And the judge is like, sit down, IBM. Sit down and zip your mouth. This is going to trial. So the jury trial is scheduled for May 4th of 2026. That's a year from now. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, this is going to take forever until we get some results here. Yes, you are absolutely correct. That's just how this system works. Everything takes way longer than it should. The good news is it's going to a jury trial, which means that a lot more outlets are going to kind of be forced into covering some of this, or at the very least, it's going to look even more ridiculous when they don't cover it, because there's going to be a jury deliberating on IBM's racist and sexist hiring and firing policies. There's going to be a jury talking about all that. That is amazing. That is going to get this in front of a lot more people, and the impact that this could have on the entire tech industry could be fairly profound, not just on IBM, which has already dropped a lot of their DEI practices, not all, but a lot of them, because of these lawsuits and executive orders from Trump and whatnot that have been going on. So that's happening. We got a year to wait before we're going to get really any more significant news out of this, unless, of course, IBM makes some crazy big offer to Randall Dill, who brought this lawsuit against them, to drop it. It's going to trial next May. Speaking of things taking for friggin' ever, that brings us to another case, Wood v. Red Hat. So Red Hat is IBM's subsidiary, particularly focused on Linux and open source enterprise computing. And Red Hat is a huge company, huge mega firm, biggest Linux company there is, right? So they're being sued over roughly the same idea, right? Racist, DEI-focused hiring and firing practices. Okay. That lawsuit was filed in May of 2024, so over a year ago. Last October, so half a year ago, a Red Hat filed a motion with the judge in this case, who is in Idaho, to compel arbitration. Basically what that means is the judge would force Red Hat and Wood to sit down and enter into some sort of arbitration. The judge has not ruled on that motion to compel arbitration as far as any records I can find. That has been sitting there, unruled on, for half a year. Red Hat is doing everything they can to delay this case, and they're just kicking the can further down the road. That's how this works. These big tech companies, this is how they handle this. Even when they know they're going to lose a lawsuit, they'll engage with it, whether they get sued or they sue someone else, and they'll just keep filing motions to kick the can down the road and make things take increasingly long amounts of time. So in this particular case, this is an ex-employee of Red Hat suing the Linux giant, right? Seeking some damages because Red Hat was doing some real racist, illegal stuff. Okay, great. Now, in order to avoid paying this out, and even more importantly, in order to avoid a precedent being set for, oh my gosh, Red Hat did some illegal things here, which could open up the floodgates of other employees suing, which they definitely don't want. What Red Hat lawyers are doing here is making it take as long as humanly possible. They're trying to starve the plaintiff out. They're basically trying to kick that can down the road. So the plaintiff runs out of money, they lose interest, they pass away, something happens, and Red Hat doesn't have to continue the court case anymore. That's what seems to be going on there. So Red Hat is engaged in a firm effort of delaying. The case is now a year old. It is ridiculous, but it is just sitting there. So we've got those two going on in very different positions of their case. Now, one thing that's worth noting about both the Red Hat, Wood v. Red Hat and Dill v. Red Hat is both of those judges are Trump appointees. And it looks like, should things actually get rolling on the Red Hat one, both of them stand a reasonable chance of being tried effectively and reasonably under the law. That's a good thing in both cases. Now, the third case is the Missouri Attorney General v. IBM. Now, this one was filed, again, back in 2024 in June. This was dismissed about 2 months ago, something along those lines, where the judge in this case, who was a very liberal Democrat appointee judge, dismissed the case of Missouri v. IBM completely. And what was really weird about this was the judge provided no reason for that ruling. It was a one sentence, literally one sentence, basically saying this is dismissed. No reason was given whatsoever. It was bizarre. That is an incredibly unusual thing to happen. Normally, a judge would say, okay, this is the reason why this is dismissed. This is the precedent that we're citing. This is the law that's being cited. This is the reason for the dismissal of the case. Now, IBM was obviously very happy about that, right? That's what they wanted. They moved a motion to dismiss the case, and the judge granted it. Now, the Missouri Attorney General had a window of time to appeal that case, and they have. They've filed the paperwork to appeal that dismissal. We'll see how that goes. But as of right now, that dismissal is being appealed. It seems reasonable if they get a judge that's not an extreme political activist. It seems reasonable that Missouri v. IBM will get a successful appeal, and the case against it will just simply continue. But the real exciting thing here is Dill v. IBM, a jury trial. Oh my heavens. I'm excited to see what comes out of all that one. Now, I'm going to keep tabs on all of these going forward. I've also heard of some other lawsuits that may potentially happen. There are individuals speaking with IBM and Red Hat right now. We'll see what they decide to do going forward. So this list of 3 could expand over the course of this year. We'll just keep track of it as we go. I want to thank all of the Lunduke Journal subscribers for allowing me to do this work and to keep tabs on all this stuff and pour through so many PDFs filed by so many lawyers and judges. Most of them are very boring, but every now and then there's something really worthwhile in there. So thank you to the Lunduke Journal subscribers for making it possible. Go to lunduke.com. Pick a way to watch, to listen, to follow, and read all the things that get posted. They're all there at lunduke.com, which is literally like the most simple website on planet Earth. It might as well be hosted at GeoCities. It's fantastic. There's one picture and just a bunch of links. That's all that's there. You want to email me? It's up there. You want to learn how to become a tech whistleblower? It's up there. You want to subscribe and help support the work of the Lunduke Journal? It's all right there at lunduke.com. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare, end broadcast.